In this hat, I have 10 things that I think you are going to hate about Phoenix. And if you can't handle these, you probably won't like living here. And if at any point you have questions about Arizona, you can reach us at 602-600-6563 or az@confidentagents.com. But let's get into this. All right, number 10. Number 10 is allergies. This one hits home for me because I get allergies really bad. When I was a kid, it was actually less. And the funny thing is Arizona was known for the place to go if you did have allergies because it was really good for people with allergies. But over the years, I found it's gotten a lot worse, and I've heard this from other people, and I think it comes down to cross-pollination, so other plants coming in from around the country and potentially around the world, and this is just stirring things up. So definitely during bloom season, you're going to see a lot of allergens in the air. So if you are affected by allergies, you must be aware of this. The way that I combat it is taking a 1-a-day allergy. And if it gets real bad, I take a Benadryl because I love to go out and dirt bike through the desert. And a Benadryl saved me so many times out there and made it to where I could 100% function if I took a Benadryl. So keep this in mind if you're thinking about Phoenix and the surrounding areas, is allergies is an issue. Number 9. Oh, monsoons. All right. So I actually love monsoons. I think it's amazing. So these are just really, really big storms that come in. You get a lot of rain, sometimes you get hail, and it just can be just a monstrous flood happening. So if you live in more of a rural area, places that don't have as good drainage, you can actually get a lot of flooding here, which is kind of ironic because it barely rains here, but when it does and a monsoon comes in, it gets absolutely bananas. Another one kind of like this would be haboobs, and that's like a sandstorm. So those do happen. You have to pull over on the side of the road, but they're usually pretty quick, like in and out for the most part. Monsoons can sometimes last for a while. I've seen it in Chandler where down in a retention basin where the water's supposed to go when it rains, it went all the way up to a basketball hoop. So it was like over 10 feet. And there people were in there kayaking, the streets were closed, but that was one time in almost 40 years that I saw that. So usually it's fairly manageable, but if you don't like a lot of like crazy rainstorms, you're not gonna like monsoons, but other than that, there's really no natural disasters in Arizona other than a little crazy rainstorms and some sandstorms once in a while. Number 8. What do we got? Oh, poor air quality. So this is kind of like the cousin to the allergies, and I think this is probably another factor that leads into the allergies. It's just poor air quality, and that's just more people are moving here. There's more cars, there's more congestion, there's more businesses, there's more just junk going up into the air. So there's definitely days where the air quality is poor, and it has gotten much worse over the years. It used to be very good, but then, more people come in, more congestion, big cities, and that just leads to poor air quality. So if you are concerned about air quality, this is something that you want to consider if you are going to live in and around Phoenix. All right, let's mix these up. Number 7, lucky number 7. What do we got? Traffic. Ugh. I hate traffic. I'm sure you hate traffic too. Again, traffic used to be like nothing. I used to be in high school, going out where Gilbert is, Queen Creek, Chandler, and there was you would see 5 cars in like a 5-minute, 10-minute time span. Now you see 5 cars when you blink your eye. So there's definitely a lot more congestion and traffic in the cities and on the freeways. So one of the main concerns about Queen Creek is you have kind of your one way in, one way out, but the freeways are coming up and making it simpler to get in and out of there. There are some little side streets that you can do, but it can get congested over there. Also, if you're coming in from the East Valley or West Valley into Phoenix, or if you live in Phoenix, some of the surrounding freeways can get pretty congested. So you have the 101, you have the 10, you have the 60, you have the 202. So all of those are converging, and it can get quite clogged up during rush hour. Now, the good thing is outside of rush hour, you're zooming. You can get from west side to east side in like an hour, maybe a little bit more. You're just flying. And so if you have any questions about what the commute is like, you can always reach out to us at 602-600-6563 or az@confidentagents.com, and we can let you know based off of where you're looking and where you're gonna work, what that commute is gonna look like during rush hour. Okay, number six. What do we got? Oh, snowbirds. So if you don't know what a snowbird is, that's I think it's an Arizona term. So this is older folks that live here during the winter and they jet out during the summer when it's hot. So when the weather is nice, it does get more congested. Where's the traffic? Back to the traffic. So that is one of the reasons, because we have more people here in the nice times of the year into the winter. So just keep that in mind. And I mean, this is kind of a goal. This is a goal for a lot of us. We want to become snowbirds and get out of Dodge when it's hot, go up north, go other places, go vacation, and come back when it's beautiful during those time of year. So this is kind of my goal in life, is to become a snowbird. But factor that in when you're considering moving or living in Phoenix. Number five. What do we got? Ooh, scorpions. Scorpions. A lot of people are afraid of scorpions. Well, here's the thing about scorpions is, yes, they can pinch you, they can sting you, they do have venom, but they really are not that poisonous. They're scary. They are scary. I don't like them. I've never saw one until I was in my 30s. I lived in Mesa, Tempe, most of my youth, and then when I moved to Chandler is when I first saw a scorpion and got stung, because I went to put on my bathing suit and it popped me right in the bum. And I jumped out of those shorts so fast. You see that thing and you jump up and you're like, ah! So it did sting, it did burn, it almost feels like a little electrical shock, but it goes away in about an hour or so and you really don't feel it anymore. So they're not too big of a concern. People don't die from them. I mean, if you have a health issue or it's a young child, it could happen. I've never heard of it happening in like 40 years. I've not heard of it. So scorpions really aren't that big of a concern, and you can have companies come in, get the scorpions out so that they're not going to be in and around your house, and you just do that like once a year or so, and then it's really not that big of an issue. So scorpions are scary, yes they are, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that bad. But keep that in mind if you're thinking about moving or living in and around Phoenix. Number four, what do we got? Lack of greenery. Yeah, this is a bummer. There is not much greenery in Phoenix and in the surrounding areas. Some areas are actually really nice. There's parts of Gilbert, there's parts of Chandler, there's parts of Scottsdale. I mean, there's parts of the West, there's parts everywhere in and around Phoenix where they put up a lot of green, but it's not native for the most part. There is a lot of water that has to come in to make that happen, but most things are fairly brown most of the time, all year round. So if you're used to forests and a lot of green, you're not gonna get that here. And if that's something you have to have in your life, then Arizona, Phoenix, the surrounding areas might not be a good place for you. But if you can get over that, the desert can be amazingly beautiful, especially if you're going on hikes in the mountains. So just keep that in mind. Lack of greenery. Next one, number three. What do we got? Ooh, snakes. This is the one I do not like. I do not like snakes. These guys can get you. The rattlesnakes out here, those can put you down. Those can cause major issues. With that in mind, in the city, I've never seen one. Like in the city, I've never seen one around my house or anything like that. If you live a little bit further out, if you're in Santan, if you're in Queen Creek, if you're in like North Mesa, in a lot of deserty places, they are there. Because I go mountain biking, dirt biking, and I've seen them. I've seen people run over them. I saw a guy step on a rattlesnake. We were out, and there was a group of guys huddled around, taking a break underneath a little shade tree or whatever. And all of a sudden, I see this thing flopping around like I thought it was a bike tube. And then I hear screaming and running and jumping. Dude stepped on a rattlesnake and it went flopping and nobody got bit. It was like the luckiest thing ever. Because yeah, if these get you, you gotta just sit still, just don't move. If you get your heart rate up, you're gonna spread the venom. You gotta call in, they're gonna give you anti-venom. Very few people die. It does happen from these, but usually you can have the rescue teams get there and help you out with the anti-venom. But these are no joke. If you're going hiking, definitely you need your head on a swivel. You got to be looking. You have to be aware. These guys can get you. So if you hate snakes, you may not like parts of Arizona. But in the inner parts of Phoenix, very unlikely that you're going to see a snake. Oh, we're almost there. Number two. We're hating on Arizona right now. We're hating on it. Oh, yeah, cookie cutter housing. Cookie cutter housing. A lot of the neighborhoods, all the houses look almost exactly alike. It's like Groundhog's Day. We have the high brick fences, and it just gets a little repetitive. You know, the houses can be beautiful looking, but most of them just look like your neighbor, like that neighbor, like that neighbor, like that neighbor. Very little variation, same colors. So that is something about a lot of parts of Arizona, is there's not much variety when it comes to houses. Now, there are areas where there are custom homes, especially up in the mountains and different places where you can get completely custom homes all over the place. But for the most part, you're gonna see the same old houses. You're gonna see a brick fence in your backyard. Comes with privacy, but it's kind of ugly compared to other parts of the country. So if you can't stand brick fences around your house and cookie cutter housing, Phoenix and Arizona is not for you. Last one, number one, extreme heat. Oh, what's the chances? That's the one that everybody thinks of, extreme heat. It's no joke. It is a dry heat, but it's hot. There's no way around it. It is hot. There's over 100 days every year where it's over 100 degrees. And many times in the summer, you're gonna get up above 115, even 120 in some cases. So you have to be careful. You have to stay hydrated. Staying hydrated is huge, making sure you're drinking that water. Another thing too is making sure that you keep yourself moist, like in your nose. People will get bloody noses because of the dry heat and the dryness in the air. So having some kind of like vaporizer that puts a little bit of moisture up into your sinuses can help a lot. But if you hate heat, you're gonna hate it in Arizona because it is hot. It is hot. You're gonna sweat. But with that said, most people are going from their air-conditioned house to their air-conditioned car to their air-conditioned office, and they don't really notice it all that much because the heating or cooling is really good in most places, most houses in Arizona, just because of this extreme heat. And the trade-off is those 3-4 months where it's really hot. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't know very many places where you're wearing shorts and a t-shirt on Christmas. So that's the trade-off. But if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. I got a bonus. What's the bonus? Bonus one. Oh, Phoenix is awesome. So as much as we were hating on Phoenix and Arizona as a whole, I think Phoenix is really, really awesome. Most of the year, the weather is amazing. There's wide open deserts to explore. There's mountains to hike. There's dirt biking. Some of the best dirt biking and mountain biking in the country is here. The food is really, really good, especially if you like Mexican food and Southwest food. There's a ton of really good places, at least I enjoy. There's a gas station on every corner. There's a grocery store on every corner. The roads are all lined up, so it's easy to find places. I mean, there's a slew of things that make Arizona great. And we actually made another video showing you exactly why we love Arizona, so you can check that out here. If you have any questions about moving or buying a house in Arizona, you can reach us at 602-600-6563 or az@confidentagents.com. We'd love to help you out. And that is the 10 things that we hate or you might hate when it comes to living in Arizona.